Morning, it's Jane from the Compassion Project, and I'm here with Maya Comerota Stewart, and I am so honored that she's here. She is incredible and has so much value. Maya is from Chicago, Illinois, and where she lives with her husband, James, and her 9-year-old son, Hunter, who I'm sure is one of your biggest teachers, Hunter.
I say it all the time. He's my biggest teacher, for sure.
Yeah, the children are. So Maya is beautiful, she is heart-driven, and she is determined to unlock the magnificence of every person she comes in contact with. She graduated from Penn State University in 2001 and went on to have a very successful career as an executive at a Fortune 100 biotech company, where she had a team of 300 people and supported over 100,000 patients worldwide, which is amazing. So she had it all. From the outside, Maya looked like she had it all together. She lived the perfect life. But on the inside, which I think a lot of us go through this, she really felt like something was missing. So that led her on a personal journey within, a journey to love, peace, and bliss. And she started traveling the world, working with leaders, scientists, researchers, and healers to learn how to connect to the power of love, which is amazing because really that's what life's all about, right? So Maya is now a transformational coach and the founder of 528 Hertz Inc. And in that company is a community, More Me, More Free, which we're going to talk about because that's amazing. So last year she was she spoke on Love Wave Live, and I watched that. It was incredible. That was a conference. That's on May 4th. She spoke for that conference, and she is soon releasing a book. You're co-authoring a book called Be True to You. So I had so much fun researching you because I was like, this girl's amazing, and I'm honored you're here. So I would love for you to share with people how your life has kind of changed since this global pandemic and social distancing. You know, I know obviously you were very, very busy before, and how it's affecting your life and how you're getting through it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm super excited to be here with everybody. So, I had transitioned my career about 5-6 years ago. So I went from being a corporate executive to then really traveling around the world, building an online presence, and supporting people online. And so I had already transitioned to online, which was really supportive for what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And so it has really allowed me to step up the ability and the possibilities of what is possible online. And, being driven, like heart-driven, mission-driven, it has really created so many opportunities to connect in much deeper ways. I was just speaking to I forget what his role is, but he's about to retire. Super incredible, like it was in the military, what have you. He was going to retire. Super incredible guy, leads massive teams, and was really struggling with, like how to transition, and then also supporting people in this world, in this dynamic that's happening now.
Yeah.
And finding the possibilities for more love, for more joy. And I had mentioned, my birthday is coming up tomorrow, which is super exciting. And he said, oh, I feel for the people who have birthdays during this time because it's a sad time. And I was like, oh, I actually have found so much joy and so much opportunity because I'm going to have like a big Zoom dance party with all, like anyone's invited, and who would have ever like done that? How could you ever have a party where anyone can come?
Yeah, that's true.
And so, and I've actually, just the perspective of how do I bring possibility to the changes that are occurring, the shifts that are occurring in every, you talk about the diamond, and the diamonds get created through the compression. That's how diamonds get created. And so I know this, and I know this perspective specifically since I was the head of global innovation previously. And so what I know through my innovation role and through my expertise in that is the greatest breakthroughs, the greatest companies, the greatest programs, the greatest projects all come from a time of compression. And so when you feel compressed, it's an opportunity. I just know, I'm like, there's a breakthrough, and there's a breakthrough on the brink to happen. And
something big is going to happen.
What?
I said something big is going to happen.
Something big is about to happen. And when we can think about it that way, when we can shift our perspective to say, okay, in this compression, I'm going to celebrate because something big is happening, right? And so, you know, you asked how this has affected me. It's affected a lot because, you know, my son is now home from school, and what I used to get done, and I have 3 different companies. So I have my 528 Hertz, I have a consulting company, and I also have another company that I'm a business partner in. And so I have 3 different companies. So what I need to do, I need to get done in a certain amount of time, and now even less time, because we've got homeschool and online martial arts and online, you know, community type stuff, and supporting more people because more people are affected. And so it's really created this, you know, at first it was, I need to get really clear on what I need, right? We talk about, you know, you put the gas mask on yourself first.
Right.
And so I need to get really clear on what I need in this time. And so I get clear on that. And then it's, what does my family need? And how do I lead myself? And then how do I lead my family? And then after how do I lead my family, it's how do I lead the people that I serve? And how do I leave then the greater community and the greater world? But it's put the gas mask on first and say, what do I need in order to lead me through this time? And when I know what I need to do to lead me, and I can share with you what those things were, because that might be super helpful for folks.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I know what I need to lead me, then I also will extend this and figure out what I need to do to lead my family and then the community, and what are those strategies to support so that we can, like, we live and lead our legacy, whether we like it or know it or not. Like right now, how you're showing up, how I'm showing up, how anybody who's watching is showing up, you are leaving your legacy right now.
Yeah.
And so to be conscious of that and to know, you know that that's happening. And then how do I need to lead myself powerfully so I can leave the legacy in this moment that I desire to leave?
Exactly. I know. And I think it's so important for, you know, we're all in different situations, but I think of a lot of the moms that have sometimes 2, 3 children home, and they used to have all this time, and they have to find a way to take care of themselves first so that their mindset is right to handle it all.
Yes.
You know, like whether it's getting up early and having that hour before the kids get up or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the most powerful things, and I talk about this all the time with folks, I did a program just last week. It was called Live and Lead Your Legacy. And there's like 3 critical components that thread through anything that I do. One is a powerful perspective. So what is an empowering, powerful perspective? Leaders, whether you're a mom that stays at home with your children, whether you're a career person, whether you lead teams, whatever that is, we all are leaders in some way. We can lead ourselves and we're a leader, right? And so the number one thing that we need is a powerful perspective. And so being mindful of the stories we tell ourselves, right? The story of coronavirus, the story of, being mindful, because our mind runs stories, our sub and unconscious runs stories. When we can be aware of those stories, then we shift it and we know does that story serve me? Do I feel good? Is this empowering? Is it not empowering? If it's not an empowering story, it actually goes against your very nature. One of the messages that I shared to what you had shared when you introduced me is we are magnificent by design. We are born magnificent. We are born extraordinary, right? It's just a truth. Like, you can't even imagine, like, for the women that are watching and have had children, like, I remember when I was pregnant and I'm like, do you people get, I'm building a human in here.
I know.
There's a human inside here, and I have people at work and they want me to do something. I'm like, dude, I am making a baby. Like, got enough on my plate right here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to and I'm joking, but if we can bring our awareness to the fact that like we are magnificent by design, you are here for a reason. There are no two people alike in this entire universe, right? Even twins are not the same, which means you're meant and designed to express in a unique way. So if we ground ourselves in the fact that we are unique and magnificent by design, right? And we are built to survive and adapt and all of these things, right? So to then create a powerful perspective to lead you into moment to moment to moment. And so when we can consider what is the powerful perspective that I can bring to this moment that empowers me, that empowers my family, that empowers the people I lead. And that's number one. And there's like three keys that I talk about in really leading yourself and others through this time or through any time. It's actually global, but you know, the power of powerful perspective in the story that you tell yourself is so important.
Yeah, because I mean, we're all thought driven, and I think it's when you become aware of how you think that you get this powerful, like, because you don't realize you can live where you're not aware and your thoughts control you until you can actually grasp them and be like, okay, that's a fear thought. I'm completely at peace in my home with my dog, and the fear thoughts of the news and that can spiral out of control. And I think people get caught up in that uncertainty of what's happening because we all don't really know how long this can go on for. And so being able to get control back, that's the whole power of the mind and your thought and redirecting your thought.
Yeah.
Right?
So a key, like one of the keys, and I love talking about this because a lot of people don't necessarily think about this, but I'll take you through a little bit of an experience, and you may have heard or seen this experience before, but for anybody who's watching, this will be super powerful. So if you were to close your eyes.
Should I do it?
Yeah, close your eyes.
Close my eyes.
So you close your eyes and you imagine that you're holding a lemon. And you squeeze the lemon, and you squeeze a little, and it's starting to get juicy. And anybody who's watching, close your eyes.
I can already taste that.
Yes, right? And then smell it. Just bring it up to your nose, smell the lemon. And then like break it in half. It was cut already. Break it in half. So now you have these two halves of this lemon. And I want you to put one half of the lemon in your mouth. And tell me what happened.
Okay,
you can open your eyes and tell me what happened. What happened?
Can feel that I can feel that bitter pain you get when you suck on a lemon.
Yeah. And like your jaws pinching, and like I can feel it, right?
The power of your thought.
Yeah, the power of that is that whether it's imagined or real, our mind will create the experience in our body. And so there's something that, you know, I've heard many times through people that I've trained with, and also, you know, many of you guys have probably heard this, but, you know, your biography becomes your biology, right? So the story you tell yourself creates the biology, the chemicals in your body. We have a crazy pharmacy in our bodies that can do all the stress chemicals, which is like the cortisol and adrenaline and, you know, all of the stress chemicals. We can create those from thought alone. We can also create those. We can create oxytocin and serotonin and adrenaline in the good way through the thoughts.
So by your thoughts, you can create those feelings of, because now I think I heard you talk about something, was it that feeling of trying to get back to that feeling of love inside you and thinking to a moment like when your child was born, that to get into that feeling of love.
Yeah.
Because you can do that at any time. If you're going through stress, you can actually be like, let me think of a time that I felt love. Someone just put self-awareness is so powerful. Carol.
Yeah.
So true.
Yes. Absolutely. And you can think of like we have the reason why the lemon experience is so powerful. It's for two reasons. One, it shows you that, and to bring it back to the story of when my son was born as well, but it shows you that your thoughts are so powerful, right? Your thoughts create the chemistry in your body, and that will just create more thoughts that are equal to itself. If you're thinking a negative thought, you're creating the chemistry in your body that's going to then trigger more thoughts equal to the chemistry you're creating in your body.
Right.
And the other reason the lemon experience is so powerful is because the reason why we can feel it and taste it is we also have a reference point, right? And so for me, one of the greatest experience of love in my life was when my son was born. And I felt this unconditional love that I had never felt to that degree before. And for any mom, there's just a feeling when you have your child that is like, something that is unlike anything else, right?
There is one thing that is being the grandma, because then you've got the daughter and the grandbaby. It's like very powerful.
Yes. And so you have a reference point for joy, for bliss. So no matter where you are in your life, no matter where things are in your current state, you have a reference point, and it doesn't matter how long ago it was. That you have a reference point for bliss, you have a reference point for joy, and all you need to do is think of it, and thinking of it will create the chemistry in your body to allow you to then have more thoughts like that, to then create the neurosynaptic connections in your mind to create more of that experience, to create more of those thoughts, to allow you to see more of what you desire.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like that, we were talking a bit before about Dr. Joe Dispenza, and in the morning, and especially now during this time of uncertainty and social distancing, and people do have a lot of fear, they wake up in the morning and they feel they're pulled to the past, like they're pulled to the day before or what's happening, or even pulled to how life used to be, instead of having something to pull them forward. He always says you want something to positive when you wake up, that lifts you out of bed excited for the day.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are stuck in that getting pulled back where they're almost into depression and fear.
Yeah. I teach a practice, I call it 5 by 5. And this is super powerful for anyone. So I encourage you all to do it. 5 by 5, 5 by 5 is a practice where the 5 minutes before you go to bed and the 5 minutes right when you wake up, you are practicing you're taking empowering stories or affirmations, and I like to call them alphamations, because alpha is the state you are right before you go to bed and the state you are when you wake up. Yeah. And in alpha, you can access and support your subconscious and unconscious mind. So it supercharges everything that you do. When you do something before you go to bed, when you do it right when you wake up, it's supercharging it because you're still in a subconscious time of your body chemistry and your brain waves, right? Yeah. So if you spend the 5 minutes before you go to bed locking in powerful, empowering thoughts, right? Making empowering motions. Like I talk about, another thing that's super key is physicality, and bringing your physicality to your story, to your perspective, because the other way to change your biochemistry is through your physical body. 70% of the way that we communicate is actually through our body, not through our words. Only 7% is content. So 70% is your body, 23% is your tone, and 7% is the content. And so like when I'm here with you right now, like anybody who's watching, you can comment, like, what feeling are you getting from me, right? Yeah. And think about yourself, the way you're sitting, the way you're speaking, what feeling that your biology is responding. And so how do you actually trigger your biology to show up for you? And so I talk about power poses. So in this 5 by 5, so the 5 minutes before you go to bed and the 5 minutes in the morning, you do power poses too. You bring your physicality to your powerful perspective. And when you bring your physicality, like in the morning, I'm like, power pose, success, like do it, Jane. Yeah. Do a power pose. And how do you feel?
Oh yeah, good. I know that's that. You're creating your state, right? Yeah, I do every day when I get up. I get out of bed and I say, today's going to be a great day.
Yes.
And I have it written on my bathroom mirror.
Yeah. And this is so great. And it's what we can all do. If there's a couple of things that I believe could shift people immediately, it's the powerful perspective. It's bringing your physicality to that perspective. So don't just say, oh, good. Jennifer is saying, love the power pose.
She's one of my best friends I've known since I was 10.
Oh, awesome. And so bring the physicality to it, because it will supercharge. Like, all it takes is 5 minutes in a day, and you do it before bed, when you wake up, and you do your power pose. You are now creating and generating the chemistry in your body that you need to create success, to shift your mind, to allow you to see what you desire to see in your life, to see the positive things. But if you're battling your body, if you're battling your mind, this is one simple practice that brings the power of your perspective and the power of your physical body to work together to support your biology, which ultimately just supports you.
Yeah, and it's so good for children too. Moms at home, even doing like, let's just do a dance party, put on the music, get them jump in. And we did that the other day with Maurice, who's 5, and Kyla's 6 months old. And we just put on the music, and we were dancing around our kitchen. And I think that energy and the positive after.
Yes.
I know. So powerful.
So powerful.
Mm-hmm. So you're amazing. Someone did comment. This is a long comment. I don't know if I'll put it up, see if it can come up. Whoa. The real balance, harmony, safe place, sacred, holy, freedom. Asking. Life about love right now. Be open. There are only 2 paths. One is huge, wide open space. That is interesting.
Was there a question or?
I think just a comment.
Okay. Yeah. I think the big thing is, understanding that there's so much possibility, and in every challenging time, there's possibility. There's yes. I mean, there are people that, and I know, because I coach lots of people, and you and I were talking. There are people who, there's financial distress. Of course, there's financial things that are happening to everyone, and so that's a reality. And in that reality, opportunity is also born. And so I have never seen a crisis that just ends in crisis. Like, we will get through all of this. We've gotten through things historically in the past. Yeah. So now it's, what are the possibilities that are being born through it? Knowing that there's a challenge, knowing that there's these things that are affecting us, but also knowing that there's a diamond that's about to be born. Yeah. And what is a diamond, and how do I seek the possibility through this? And then, I know you have a beautiful community here. Like, this is where, if people are struggling through something, you share and you say, I'm struggling through this perspective, and can anybody support with some positive perspective or a way to think through this? Like, right now, online education is a $322 million a day business. Online education, that was before coronavirus. And it was anticipated to be $1 billion a day. And so in the next 5 years, which I anticipate is going to like that $1 billion a day is actually going to come a lot closer. So there's possibilities for people to take what they were doing, in business or career, what have you, and shift to online. Now, maybe one doesn't know how, but there's so many people that are willing to help. And there's so many people that have the capabilities. And so it's just looking to, what are the possibilities? What support and resources do I need to make these things happen? And then what are the next steps? But to be able to share in your community or in other communities would be super powerful, to continue to look at what are the possibilities, keep our mind to that, knowing that through any crisis, any challenge, there's always opportunity and there's always possibility that comes through that.
Yeah, you're amazing. Oh my goodness, I'm going to watch this after. Because it is, you want people to look at the possibility or what good will come out of this, because good will come out of it. And it's interesting because I think people are having to go within, they are having to simplify, they're having to find joy in the simpler things and really, really practice gratitude for what we have. There's so much we took for granted. I think our lives were so busy, and then we took so much for granted. And it's a lot of people are growing more inward and finding love and, and connecting. You got to connect. You're amazing. I thank you so much for joining me. I really want people to know about that community. It's called More Me, More Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just tell me a little bit about that? Because maybe some people would like to join it. I'm certainly going to join it.
Absolutely. So More Me, More Free is a community that supports people. The premise is we're magnificent by design. That's the premise. We were born to be magnificent. And it's also a journey, right? And that's why I called it More Me, More Free, because in every moment we're becoming more of who we're meant to be. And when we become more of who we're meant to be, we feel more free. And so it's the journey to become more of who we're meant to be every day. And so I support that community with coaching several times, weekly, bi-weekly. And then the community is amazing. The community supports one another. It's the most amazing, powerful, beautiful community. And just an incredible place for people to be empowered and be empowered within themselves. And that's something that I always communicate with people. I'm here to support you to remember what already exists inside, right? It's this remembrance of the magnificence that lives in the greatness and the, we're all meant to be exceptional. And we're just remembering that. And so that's what this community is. It's really incredible. And I just love every person in there, and I'm so happy to have anyone join. So
we can put the link to join that in the comments if people want to join it. And then you can also find Maya at her website, Maya Comerota, is that how you say it?
Comerota, yeah.
Comerota. Your website's amazing. So you can connect with her there. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you. You'll probably be on a stage with Tony Robbins, and I'll be like, I'm sure it's going to happen.
I'm sure too.
Yes, it will. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I was really honored. You're amazing. And we will sign off and say goodbye.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you all.
Okay. Bye.